Right. What can I say? I've known Sue Johns since 1986. She was one of the only, she's the only one of the poets on tonight who was at our first show, July the 15th, 1989 in Carshalton. She's had many books published. Her latest collection, Hush, is on sale here tonight. She's from, is it Praise Sands or Praise Sands?
Praise Sands.
Praise Sands, I'll never get that right. Please give a big welcome, welcome to Sue Johns from Praise Sands. Okay.
Bit of furniture removal, sorry.
Well,
I'll use this lovely letter. There's been an unlikely alliance this year between Angelina Jolie and William Hague, but for a very good cause, campaigning against sexual violence in conflict. And this is about Darfur, and it's called The Sixth Man. The seed of the Janjaweed, the blood of Sudan, coursed her legs, pulled in the earth. The first man took her innocence, relieved himself, then the next, the third, the fourth, the fifth. As her insides gave way, the sixth man came. And the sixth man sang as she bounced off his boot, onto her belly, through the dirt, the pain, legs splintering under a rifle butt. She is Zara, she is 15, she'll never run again. Silent screams do exist, not just the stuff of nightmares. She knew this, as he thrust her face to his sweat, his spit, his eyes, one hooded, a genetic defect, made the other seem large and red. Dust rises to greet her, limping, incontinent, abandoned. Her belly, tight as a drum, beats out the message of time. Her broken frame proffers a small, black, precious form. She draws to her breast her son. Sees nostrils, tests the air for the smell of freedom. Sees a tiny mouth struggle for the language of love. Sees the twisted vision of the sixth man. In 1998, I think it was, South Crofty, the last Cornish tin mine, closed down. But there is some good news because they're hoping to start tin production there again next year. And I was given as a birthday present these earrings, and they are made from the last tin to come out of that mine. Small velvet box. Proffers a pair to hang from lobes, resurrecting buried sounds, fathoms down. 3 centuries worth of Cornish life, wood surface, in dirty water, drowned. The miners, treasured, cousin Jacks. From Spain, New Zealand, Norway to the Cape, their skills were coveted, unmatched. South Crofty, outliving suffering siblings, rode the slump. The bitter pill, disproven remedy, joined them, silenced the pump. We break this thought, to raise a glass, celebrate, mark the day I pushed red-faced from wet and dark, gave my first Celtic whoop. This gift, turned in the palm, produces song, an elegy, a Wesleyan hymn. its frame a manicure that pens of maidens on the dressing floor, sifting, bringing a hammer down. My path, less worn, a well-schooled journey, post-learning liberty, though warned of peppered shafts, long overgrown. Enter my body. Father and son turned rivers red with sweated toil. This painful beauty, last Crofty tin, through small and bloodless holes. This poem was inspired by Cornwall in the storms back in February, and it's called Wet Paint. I want to capture the storm in oils, Geoffrey, retired seaman and artist. Oh no, no genie, model pupil and love interest, who brings him heavy cape, still warm in the tin. He has a vision of her, washed up at low bar, with one shoe and no knickers. 'Tis dangerous, my love, they've lifted the boats. I must insist you stick to still life until this blows over. At the Mount, it's a Black Flag Day. The harbour master curses the elements that have crushed the work of giants. A crushed giant finishes his dinner at the Newlyn Mission. It boards up its eyes as he heads for the Saudi, nets a shoal of rum and shrubs, and as it washes the bulks, takes on Paul Hill at the mercy of the weather. Down road, they're watching Dawlish on the news, joking that the damage should have happened further down, settling for semi-isolation, albeit with Devoners, agreeing that climate change is the fault of foreigners, and channel hopping for anything on Nigel Farage. As the Gulf Stream weakens and the rain rides up country, the artists of Port Leven are easeled from the terraces. Paint what you can name from memory, ladies, then frame it for your own protection. Ultramarine for a missing crabber, a crimson buoy for focus. But I've so many beaches and harbours, Geoffrey. Can we not master the waters beyond? If there's two things I fear in this life, Jeannie, 'tis shop-bought bacon and an artist too far out at sea. I read an article some time ago now, by a bright spark who suggested that the best place, or one of the best places to pick someone up was your local supermarket. And they'd obviously never tried looking for a shag in the Sainsburys and Merton High Street.
I have.
More on that in the bar afterwards, I think.
Waste of time.
Recycled milk, balsamic vinegar, nut roast corn and lentil burger, a veggie chicken and a toilet duck, just one thing left, someone to fuck. But I shop in South London, where greasy men with hard-ons that protrude through holy tracksuits, freshly stained with pee. And if you're on the lookout for a girlie, not a fella, you better have a liking for pink velo. Don't be fooled by looks and loads of lolly. Take a look inside his trolley. He may have money and credentials, but the state of his low-cost essentials you'll search in vain through cans and cartons for girls in Dr. Martens who might offer you a heaving breast while reaching for the free range eggs. 'Cause I shop in South London, where greasy men with hard-ons that protrude through holy tracksuits, freshly stained with pee. And if you're on the lookout for a girlie, not a fella, you'd better have a liking for pink velo. I want someone who likes their olives stuffed, whose trolley's veering to the left, who looks like they'll fulfill my needs, whose looks will thaw my frozen peas. In theory it all sounds such fun, cruising by the meals for one. Where do these trysts take place exactly? I think they all must be in Hackney. So, if don't shop in South London, where greasy men with hard-ons that protrude through holy tracksuits, freshly stained with pee. And if you're on the lookout for a girlie, not a fella, you won't find your Cinderella, unless you like pink velo. I don't actually shop at that Sainsburys, but it is very, very useful because I've been doing this game for a long time and I'm becoming rather bitter and twisted that I'm not internationally famous. And so now I go up to the Sainsburys on a Saturday afternoon and I refuse to leave until somebody recognises me. When will the public acknowledge that I'm famous? Their denial of my literary prowess has me loitering in supermarkets, waiting to be recognised. Drawn to fresh vegetables, potato standers, the poetic symmetry of cauliflower. But my muse is unsettled by the area, the constant mopping, its proximity to the ringing tills. Unearthed, I opt for frozen. Here, young men toss Byronic fringes, ask why I'm inspired by ice cream. Peas, I say, occasionally sweet corn, and you'll never make a poet with that lack of observation. As the manager, please, move, please, you are obstructing the access to the petit pois. Currently uprooted in continental cheeses. I observe the salads. Rocket leaves in bags, half rhymes of their former selves, beetroot minus the beet. Here, a renowned poet notes that I am a local celebrity, easing me aside, heaving Roquefort, Camembert and Cueur de Neufchâtel into a basket bereft of greens. It is a metaphor for weighty verse, hardened arteries en route to a prize. Dismissing my suggestion of carrot batons, he makes for the warmth of the bread counter. One of the things that strikes me about the media coverage of the war in Gaza is how little of it is given to the peace marches. Not just the ones here in London, but there are huge marches that have been taking place by Israelis in Tel Aviv and by the Jewish communities in America. This is actually quite an old poem on the Middle East. It was written last year, and it's written in the voice of a young Israeli living in a West Bank settlement. And I'll just translate a couple of words for you. Ima is mum, Bobbe is grandmother, and a shamuta is a whore. And this is called Dinner and Dancing. In Tel Aviv, the sunset exploded like a mortar, violent but beautiful. A champagne Shabbat with grandmother and her friends. Their behaviour would have seemed indulgent to my mother. Ima would have missed her chicken soup. As a world away from settlement dust, girls as hot as Friday night candles danced on the sand. Bobbe had fun, then sent home recipes for salmon and lamb to her daughter, who on my return inspects me as if my conscience comes in on my clothes, tells me women are protesting where someone has written Arabs to the gas chambers. Samutas, she says, all they're fit for is throwing stones. Is it our faith that forms the cracks in the fresh concrete, where I stand on the heights, with an empty stomach, but no appetite. In the distance, the house lights play their own tune. Can we ever join them to dance? I dream of a marriage, which is not Sarah's, where we dance the horror. A beautiful bride in a coloured dress, bread piled high with meat and yellow rice. Emma dreams in black and white, and not of the village. Then every door is a woman's scream. A body in a flag is carried through the streets, and every man is a brandished gun. Here, where my father's rifle hangs on the wall, Emma lifts her hands. There will never be peace. Then I'm with my great-grandmother in Poland. She lights the candles her family made, passes the dark loaf and beetroots dressed with cream as potatoes and onions are fried. Eat, she cries, there will be nothing on the train. In the camp, no lines to left or right. Great-grandmother is young again. We find her hair and fix it with wire. She is naked. I find her a blanket to wear. And knowing there will be dancing, we reclaim her shoes together. So I don't want to finish on that sort of very serious note, so I'm just going to do one more. Jeremy Paxman has left Newsnight, so I'm pretty disappointed about that. But it's okay, because I've still got Kirsty. Kirsty, my girl crush for many, many years. I want to go down on Kirsty Walk. I want to hear the power dress diva talk. But surely those policies are a disgrace while she's sitting on my face. I go misty when Kirsty puts the politicians right, and I'm always masturbating right through Newsnight. I want to go down on Kirsty Walk. I want to hear the power dress diva talk. The latest battle leaves thousands dead as I run my tongue between her legs. I go misty when Kirsty puts the politicians right, and I'm always masturbating right through Newsnight. The 10 o'clock news is so depressing, and yet when Kirsty talks of devastation, it just gets me wet. I want to go down on Kirsty Walk. I want to hear the power dress diva talk. The next report is a little disturbing, but Kirsty says cool even when she's coming. I go misty when Kirsty puts the politicians right, and I'm always masturbating right through Newsnight. So you can keep your pants on, Jeremy Paxman. I don't care if I'm a hussy, I need some thinking woman's pussy. I want to go down on Kirsty Walk. Thank you, Dodo.
Sue, I wonder, are you aware that Kirsty's in the audience tonight? Is that back? Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Johns. Our final act of this 25-year celebration is coming on shortly. We hope you're back with us in another 25 years. Somewhere anyway. As they say, it's good to be here in Merton. At our age, it's good to be anywhere. So thank you very much. Now, our last act, Project Adorno, are just getting ready to go up to Edinburgh. They're performing in the Paradise at the Vault from the 12th to the 17th of August. They go up to Edinburgh pretty much every year, and they've been performing Dodo for many years too. In fact, I've known Russell since the early 90s, I think, when we turned up at arts festivals together in the locality. Praveen joined a bit later, I believe, but we're delighted to have them here. The piece they're doing at Edinburgh is called Jarman in Pieces. It's obviously about Derek